What's going on, guys? Josh here from JJ's Custom and Auto Repair. As promised, but delayed, we are starting the Toyota brake caliper upgrade. These beauties right here, good size, decent upgrade for the money. I picked these up from O'Reilly's. I think they're like right at $40 a piece. It's really not that bad, guys. They come with all the hardware for the pins and stuff, and they're similar to the factory brakes, except they're a lot bigger. As far as this one uses two large one piston on each side, which is okay. It is efficient, but there is better. This uses 4 pistons total, one large and one little bit smaller. A lot better braking. The biggest thing is going to be it's got more area right here for a bigger pad, and you can upgrade the rotors, which I'll have to go grab when we get this all tore down because I forgot those. But you can also upgrade the rotors to a vented style, which will help keep this stuff cool, which is very important if you're going to be riding your brakes very hard. There is 2 options. You can either ditch the brake shield entirely, or you can cut it up. We'll kind of go over, if you're going to ditch it, you can just take it off and throw it away. So I'm not going to go over that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Take the thing off and throw it away. I will kind of show you the modifications to cut it to keep the dust shield. I would like to keep my dust shield just to keep the dust off my shiny, pretty suspension parts that are all nice and painted. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know. We'll run the dust shield and see how it does, and go from there. I will tell you guys, I do have my brake lines cut from the swap. If you do this, you really need to go with a aftermarket proportioning valve anyway, so you're going to have to run some new steel lines. I'll cover that later. But I will tell you guys, I do already have my lines cut, so that's going to be a little different because I'm not going to have to go through all, I'm not going to take the brake loose. I'm going to show you where to take it loose at, but I'm not going to actually take it loose. I'm just going to pull the whole thing out since I've got it cut right down here. Also, I do have the caliper bolts loose already, so don't think if yours come out not near as easily as mine do, then don't freak out. Also, the dust shield for the bearings, I already went ahead and got that loose because sometimes that can be a real pain. This one actually came off really easy. But sometimes it can kind of be a pain, so I wanted to go ahead and get that loosened up, so I'm showing you guys on the video. It's not me 20 minutes sitting here fighting this thing. So I guess, guys, at that point, then let's get started. Alright, so it looks good. First step you guys are going to want to do is, of course, get your wheel off. I didn't film that because I feel like if you can't take the wheel off and don't know how to responsibly jack up your car, then probably shouldn't be doing this upgrade or any work at all, and I would consult a mechanic if this is what you want to get done. So basically, the first step would be to take your brake line loose right here. Coming in, you can either take it loose there. I don't know yet if the Toyota fitting uses the same. We'll have to see. If it does, then you can probably just either replace this line. As you can see right here, my line is, let me zoom in for you guys there. Maybe able to see it. Yeah, right here. Let's see. Right here, my line's already busted. Makes me actually kind of nervous. I've been driving around on this thing for as long as I have. So we're going to be upgrading to stainless steel anyway. So I'm not too worried about that right now. So what I'm going to do actually, guys, right now is probably just snip this line right here. Snip the line right here and just call it done. I believe the line on the back, though, is a 10mm, so if you are going to take it off yourself and do it the correct way, if your lines are in good shape, all that stuff, then it is a 10mm. As you can see, my lines aren't in the best shape. All my brake fluid's leaked out anyway. Alright, so I'm going to turn this max I can. The impact's not always necessary, but it does make things nice. Like I said, I do already have these kind of loosened up. There's 17mm on the back here. Just one bolt for one side. Come down a little lower. And and second bolt. If you're gonna do any other upgrades, as far as like if you want to do new brakes, these technically you don't have to pull this off to do the brakes. It just makes it a little easier. But those two 17s are pretty much what it takes to get the whole assembly off. As you can already see, guys, these are spot on with the bolt holes. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. See those? I mean, the exact same. So it literally is a bolt-on swap. So the caliper's off. We're going to tear this apart and turn it back in for a core. The guy told me man, he's got good pads on him. Told me as long as it's a brake caliper that's rebuildable, that they take it back. So that'll give me my core money back. Some places may not do that. It may just be one of those things. So, and you may be able to find somebody who may buy them fairly cheap. I know the market for those aren't huge, but you never know. All right. So next is going to be the cotter pin here. We are just going to fold that down. And this would also be, if you guys are planning on doing coilovers or upgrades to your struts or anything like that, which I do plan on doing, but I didn't figure you guys wanted to wait till I got the rest of the money to upgrade all that stuff, so I went ahead and made this video. We're just going to do the brakes for now, but if you're going to do coilovers, or even if you're just going to replace just the strut insert itself, this would be a great time to do it, because you got to tear all this down anyway. So basically all we're going to do, remove the cotter pin right here, then let's zoom in here since we're back. I zoomed in a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on instead of being so far away. Basically we already removed the cotter pin here. This would be a great time to go ahead and do your bearings. You don't have to. I would recommend putting your bearings on it. I would definitely repack them if you don't do anything. A lot of times these nuts aren't on here all that tight, so you can get it like a crescent wrench. And this nut doesn't need to be just super tight. I'll show you guys later the actual torque specs on torquing these down. That may be a next video, because since I have decided, I really should have ordered my bearings beforehand, but I didn't. So may have to just do a teardown video today and go from there next time. Nope, that won't fit. What about these? No. All right, we're back. Had to go grab some more tools. Like I said, let's see here. Yeah, see, this is not even tight. These don't have to be torqued. All this does is just keep the preload on the bearings. You gotta loosen this out. Just like that. I've got everything kept over here on a rack, because this stuff is really dirty and nasty and messy, and that's why I'm wearing the gloves. Let's see what these bearings look like. Okay, so now we got into here. Oh god, guys, yeah, that's a good thing we're doing this. Save this. This is the washer. You can find them, but you will need this part whether you get new bearings or not. See, in this case, guys, I'm going to show you here. Hopefully you can see. This thing has a lot of slop to it. It's old. It's probably the original ones. I highly doubt anyone's ever. Hopefully you guys can see. A little slop is okay, but I mean, this much with it packed with grease is just way too much. Yeah, see, it's got a bind in it too. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got a catch right there. Definitely want to go ahead and replace these. It's a good idea to do it anyways, unless you've just recently replaced it. Unless you just recently replaced them, guys, they're cheap. It's not like they're an arm and a leg. It's good insurance in my opinion. Doesn't look here like we've got any wear. A lot of times you'll see wear right here where this back bearing rides, or even sometimes where the seal rides. You want to check for surface wear on there. I don't see any. I know that's not really a common problem with these. Everything looks good. So at this point, let's see if I can get these things cleaned up. And see, this may also determine if you guys keep this dust shield or not. I know these bolts or screws can kind of be a pain. So, you know, if you can't get them off, easy, it may just be easier just to drill them out and just get rid of the dust shield entirely. At this point, I don't know how I'm going to really like the dust shield with my rims. I don't think it's going to look that great as just an open one. So I am going to get rid of mine, but I am going to show you the modifications to do to the dust shield in case you guys plan on keeping it. So to continue on, you want to remove this seal. That's another thing I'm going to have to buy is the seal. There's a seal in the back here. You're going to take that out and take this rear bearing out. There's a couple different ways to do that. The easiest way is just a seal puller. I've got one, so I'll use it. And if you see right here, these bolts right here, that's what you're going to actually remove to remove the rotor from the spindle assembly here. Alright, I am going to clean this spindle assembly up and paint it while it's off and get all this cleaned up. So, if you guys will bear with me, getting this out, if you need help with that, there's a bunch of videos on how to remove seals, so I'm not going to show that one. I'm not going to show cleaning up either. It's pretty easy, just carb clean, brake clean. Brake clean preferably, it doesn't leave a residue. So brake clean it out with some shop towels, make sure it's all nice and pretty in there. I really didn't think this ahead, so I'm going to have to probably wait and finish this until I get new seals and bearings. I should have ordered those ahead of time, but I didn't think about it. I forgot that this was a rotor on hub style vehicle. That's kind of common, but not really used anymore. And I just forgot. I just was thinking I needed the brakes and rotors like always. But as you can see, let's get this moved on over here. Zoom back out some for you guys. As you can see, not really much to be trimmed up here at all. We got a little in the lower, a little on the upper, but it's really not that bad. Let me zoom out a little more here. Alright. So you got that little bit up top here and you got a little bit down here. So what I'm going to do is put it on this side like that, so I can just kind of get an idea of what I'm going to have to trim out here, and I will mark it and we'll come back. Alright guys, we're back. We'll show you here. Just gonna go ahead and clean this up some back here so I've got a good clean surface to mark to. Alright, so all you're going to do is take this caliper and set it up there like this. And this may be one of those trial and error things, you know, cut a couple, cut a little bit, you know, cut some more. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark it. We're going to just take this little bit out right here to start. Okay, down here, let's see how much we need. Okay, so down here we need to come about like this. Okay, and I'm not going to go over the different ways to cut this, guys. There's a bunch of different ways you can cut it: air saw, body saw, Dremel. I'm gonna go dig through my bag of goodies and see what I got. As always, guys, proper safety gear. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses because this can throw stuff pretty easy. So let's see how I can get in here and do this. So all we're gonna do is come right against this line. I may actually have to come on the other side here, guys. All right, yeah, this is better. All we're gonna do is come in and cut right here, all right? Alright guys, I can't preach it enough. Safety and keep your shop organized. That was kind of a pain because I really should have replaced that wheel, but I didn't want to. Basically just cut this out here. Really, I would come in and clean this up with a Dremel or any kind of stone or anything like that. Since I'm actually technically not keeping this, then I'm not going to worry about it right now. But if you're going to do it, clean it up with a Dremel, anything like that, just make sure it's clean. So let's see here now. If you look, we have more than enough clearance to clear these now. If you really wanted to, I'm sure you could come in here and precisely cut to match the curvature of this, but really, I mean, is it going to make that much of a difference? Probably not. To put it back on, just the rotor, which I'll have an actual install video once I get the bearings and seals and everything for the rotor assemblies. But it actually just uses stock hardware. Slide it through, get it started. There we go. Just to show you guys that this really is just a true bolt-in upgrade. Now I know there's other aftermarket companies that make bolt-in upgrades for these. I mean, come on guys, this was easy, fairly cheap, just like that. Tighten those down. Of course, you're going to want to put your rotor and everything on, but I mean, just like that. And look at that. I mean, these things are huge compared to your stockers. You know. Now, I mean, I know that one piston here may look huge, but I mean, look how small those brakes are. They're really not that big. I'll get a pair of Toyota brakes when I take these back. So I'll compare them then. But I mean, for now, it's a great bolt-on, guys. Great bolt-on. For the money, you can't really beat it. I mean, I know there's other aftermarket kits out there, not much more money, but and it really, if you had a good junkyard you could go to, you really couldn't beat this. These things are cheap to rebuild and they're easy. But I don't have that kind of junkyard up here. Most of the junkyards up here go and pull the part for you, so you end up having to pay them labor. And everything else, and ends up not being any cheaper if you just bought it used from the parts store. They would rather sell it to dealers anyway, things like transmissions and engines and rear ends and all that good stuff. They'd rather sell to them than the DIY guy or your hot rodders and stuff. So you don't get much of a deal there on something like this. So for now guys, I guess that's going to be it. I'm going to go do the other side and get these off so I can turn my course in. I'll do a brake pad comparison when I turn my course in, and we'll go from there. For now guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned some stuff. If you're going to take the dust shield off, then it's just these screws right here, 4 screws. If they don't come out and you're not keeping it, just drill the heads off and this will pop right off. I wouldn't even worry about it really. Leaving those flush aren't going to hurt anything. So, but for now guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace. Alright guys, one more thing before my camera battery dies. I don't have much left, so we're going to hope I can get this in. To get this separated from your spindle, you're going to take a 2x4 or anything you got that's wood or not going to hurt it. Basically, since we're not keeping this rotor, just whack the crap out of it. I mean, literally just, a couple good hits. You'll see it start to separate right here. So you can come through and tap your spindle a bit, and it should separate. No problem whatsoever. Just like that. So, and there you have it. This is scrap metal, more money back right there. Not much, but more money. I'm all about free money, guys. So scrap it and you're done. This would also be a good time to go ahead and throw new longer studs in this, because you can see these are real short. So I'm going to look at that too, see if there's any good options out there. Get those out. You can just whack the mess out of them, but you need a bigger hammer. So for now guys, that's it. Peace.